this is Mary from SVG Cuts, and today I'm in my craft studio and I've got some fun new ideas for you for Mother's Day. And I used some really cool paper that I've had in my stash for a couple weeks now. It's by Basic Gray and it's the Nook and Pantry collection. The color palette is awesome on it and it has all kinds of girly kitchen-y details that I love, and they're just perfect for my project. And while I was at Archivers, I also picked up these individual sheets by Bo Bunny. There's like 12 different colors and they're printed with this cool ledger pattern. It's a little bit different on both sides, but those totally came in handy today, just like I knew they would. I have all kinds of new fun stuff in this kit, including the 2 3-dimensional flowers, and I want to make sure that you know how to put everything together. So I've got everything cut out and let's get started. So first I'm going to put together this cute little blossom, and I've got my adorable little twine with the button in the middle, but if you leave that off, it's fine, it's still just as cute. Now I'm going to take all 5 of the petals and I'm going to do this to all 5. No tools necessary, just with my fingernails. I'm just going to curve all the edges around. And once it's curved, I'm going to kind of smush it in a little bit. So I was just trying to make this look like a cute little strawberry blossom. And it's pretty easy, it doesn't have to be perfect. Actually, if it's a little bit messy, that is great. And I like how this paper has a little bit of a pattern on it, but it's still white. So it makes it a little more interesting without being like distracting. And I use this little strawberry blossom on a few different places in this project. Just on the little kiwi teacup and on the strawberry bag. So it's used 3 different times. You could totally use it anywhere else. Okay, now I'm going to glue each of these down. And I feel like using little glue dots. So that's what I'm going to do, but you can totally use glue too. So I'm just going to place my little petal just on top there. Pretty self-explanatory, pretty simple. So I have my cute little blossom all done. It's still kind of wet from the glue, so I'll be careful. But I'm going to use a 3D pop dot to put it right here. And it's super cute. So that's the front of my little strawberry teapot bag. And now here's the part that goes in the middle. So this is going to get glued on here. And I'm just going to carefully just do 1 tab at a time here. I'm just going to position the first tab, and you can see a diagram of this in your PDF that comes with your download, so you can see exactly which tab goes where first. And if you just start with one side, do 1 tab at a time and press it down, and then do the next tab. It's not hard at all. Even though it's kind of a weird shape, it's not hard. So I've got 3 glued down here. And I'll just put glue on the next tabs. I'm not even being very careful, but that's fine. And I'll just do 1 at a time again. If I tried to do them all at once, it would be a pain. So definitely just do them 1 at a time. And press them down and let them dry. Okay, so that's the front of my little bag. And for the back, I just want to place the back on the tabs. And the same thing, it's kind of a little bit tougher, but with 1 hand inside the bag and 1 hand outside, I can kind of guide them into place and then push down on the inside to make them stick. So that seems kind of hard when you're first doing it, but it's really not. Alright, so there's my cute little teapot. And I could leave it like that, but I would like to glue this together to make it more like a teapot handle. So I think I'll do that. I'll do that later. You don't need to see me do that. Okay, so then this little guy goes with it, and I think I will glue that on there, kind of like a gift tag on the bag. Okay, now let's put together this card, which has another 3D flower as part of it. And now if you're just going to give this to someone, you can make it more 3D, but if you want it to be flat in the mail, we're just going to make it a little bit flatter to go inside the envelope. It's up to you. It depends on the person you're giving it to, if you're going to be seeing them face to face or if you're going to send it. So if you've made any of my 3D roses, this is very similar to the inside of the rose. It's a little bit different, but it's the same concept. So I just curled it around and then I let it go, and I'm going to place that right on the bottom. See, now if I wanted it to be flatter to get mailed, I could kind of undo it a little bit more before I glue it down. But I want mine to be nice and 3D, so I'm going to put my glue as close to the edge of this spiral as possible, because that's going to be the part that touches the paper. So that's where I want my glue. And I'll just put that right in the middle. And now this one's kind of a little bit looser and flatter. For example, this one is a little more curled tighter. So it's really up to you how you want to do it. And for this, I could glue this, but I don't want to wait, so I'm going to peel off a little glue dot. Just doesn't want to come off because I'm at the end. And I'll put that right there. Okay, so I'll set that aside after I glue my leaf on. Okay, now for this crazy doodly flower. I found a brad in my stash that matches perfectly with that. So I'm going to, instead of gluing it together, I'm going to use my X-Acto, and I'm going to put each layer, well, I guess this one you're not going to see, so I'm going to leave that out. So I'll just put each little layer on from smallest to biggest. Pretty self-explanatory, but so that's my final flower. Okay, now the base of this card is kind of wacky. That's the bottom layer, and this goes in the middle. It's got two tabs that I'm going to use to glue on the tab, and this is the front. So let's put this one like this. Okay, and for this card, if you can use double-sided paper, that is perfect because you kind of see the back side of it. If it's white, that's fine, but it's kind of cool when there's a coordinating pattern on the other side. Okay, so that is your card. Kind of creates a fun little scene for whoever you give it to. And I'm going to put that flower right there and this flower right here. Okay, now for my big Gable box. Now I've already put together the front of the box, and this is the back, just plain pink, and the two sides and the bottom. So it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm just going to glue the sides to the front and the back, and I'm going to glue the bottom on. And doesn't really matter which order you do these in. Actually, I think maybe if you start with gluing the bottom to the front and the back, maybe that would be a little easier, but really whatever. And you gotta love this adorable cupcake paper. Really, all this paper in this whole collection is so cute. Okay. So I'll glue the bottom on. I think I could do this in a different order every time, and I would probably decide that one way was better than the other, but I'm just going to throw it together. Okay, so I'm just gluing the final tabs together here on the bottom of my box. And I ran out of pattern paper, so I just used plain pink for the back, but that's fine. Okay, so now to close this up, you've probably seen a Gable box before. There's no more glue necessary now. I will just put these together so they line up, and put this little tab over on the side. And you also get a little small one too, which the tag looks cute on. Okay, so finally, I've got one page here from my mini album. And if you want to use cardstock, if you want to use chipboard, you can, but I wanted to make this easy in case you didn't feel like using chipboard. So this is the cover, and this is the other side. So this is basically how it works, and I'm going to put these two pieces of white cardstock in the middle. So the only trick to this is just to line it up as perfectly as you possibly can, because even if it's off by just a little bit, it's not going to look as nice. And now if you want to add more than just two pieces, like I'm just adding two, but if you want to do more, you could, but I think you'll find that two is plenty to make it like what you're used to with an album. So I'm just gonna very carefully line this up as best I can. And I'm just adjusting it a little bit just to be as perfectly even as possible. So you just really want to take your time with this, and just don't be in a rush, because I did one while I was testing and I was kind of hurrying up and it just wasn't as perfect. So now I know a lot of you guys have used chipboard and like cereal boxes or some kind of like snack boxes. You can totally do that. I've heard people do that without even a special deep cut blade, just the regular blade. So it's something to experiment with, or if you just want to stick with what you know, you can just do it like this with some cardstock. Now when I'm done, if I find that the edges are not as perfect as I would like, I might even take out my sandpaper and sand the edges a little bit, but we'll see. So again, I'm just really taking my time here. I'm looking at the corners, I'm looking at the holes, and this point part here. And this time I did a good job lining everything up. It's much better. So that's the cover. See, it's nice and sturdy. And this album has 5 pages in it, but if you want to add more, you can. And like this is the perfect size for 2 4x4 square photos, and the other pages have 4x6. Okay, so we've got these little rings from pumpkincartcrafts.com that we sell. And why is it so hard to open? Oh, there we go. So once I have all of my pages done, I'm going to put these rings on, and then I'm going to take a bunch of cute ribbon. You guys have probably seen this done before. I definitely didn't invent it. My mom showed me. And I'm just going to tie this in a little double knot or just a knot. I'm going to use a whole bunch of different coordinating ribbons. I'm going to put like 5 to 10 on there just to jazz it up a little bit, and it'll be totally cute. So that is it. Thanks for watching. I hope you had fun, and if you make any of this stuff, I would love to see a picture of it on our forum or on our Facebook page. So happy crafting!